everybody, today we're going to do the video of the ZH80D. This unit's been out for a while. We've, kind of been in the middle of winter, and then spring hits, and then it's ungodly hot out. So sorry for not getting caught up on our videos. Today we're going to do the ZH80, kind of catch you up, tell you where we've been, what we're doing. ZH80 is just the big brother to the ZH70, and then obviously we had the BH70D-2 over there. So the 80 is set up kind of like a larger excavator. So your boom comes around the side of the cab. Your pivot point, everything is right there with the body. You're going to have the gear oil independent on the side, swing motor, and so forth. Big 30-inch bucket, big heavy-duty thumb, diverter, auxiliary hydraulics. Again, this guy wanted a quick attach on. We have the hydraulic quick attach on. Not a standard item, but it is an option on it. Step up. So to get up on the unit, you got the steps built into it, so you can access everything easily. You are starting to get to that top side of your height. You're typically, when you haul, 9 foot's about the limit. You're right there. You're at 8'11" on this machine. And so if you're going to haul this unit, you're going to want a step deck or a lower gooseneck or something along them lines. A low boy would be great. And then you don't got to worry about the height so much. So if you do haul this unit, you want to make sure that it's not on a regular flatbed trailer, because you're going to be really pushing your height. And over, technically, 8.6 is usually what a flatbed, depending on your flatbed, and trucks vary and trailers vary. But ZH80s are the biggest one we do for now. Now, for reach, it doesn't get you a ton more reach because of where that boom does mount. It mounts here towards the middle of the machine. Your side swing units or your front mount units, they have more reach because the boom is to the furthest point it can be. Now, this one's going to be about 18'2", where that one's 18'1". So again, they're very close. But what it does make up for is digging height. If you're taking a shale pit down or taking a vertical wall down, where you're loading a triaxle, your dumping height and your digging height are substantially more. So where this one's digging height's going to be, I think it's 23 feet. Your radius is going to be 18 feet plus a little bit to get you back here to the center. So it ends up at 21 feet, and that makes it a radius of 42 feet. And then your digging height is 23 feet with your dumping height at just under 20 feet. So it's going to make up for it in some radius and some digging height and dumping height. The reach is actually going to be really close to a 70 because of where that boom is positioned and where it's mounted. So, weight and breakout force is also going to play a factor because this one, it's around that 17,000 pound mark. It's got wider tracks. This one has 18-inch tracks, where 70 has 16-inch tracks. You got heavier duty components and so forth. So 2-speed, it's going to run wider. It's going to be heavier, but your reach is right around the same as those 70s. So where that's important is the people that are just looking at reach and just looking at digging depth. If they don't have to spend the extra money and they don't need the bigger machine, you can drop down into a 70 and have that. Now, if you're cutting height or you're dumping height or you need the radius, then this machine would make sense for you. Also a Yanmar 4TNV98CT VSY. So same series, different family. And then your components are going to be a little bit more, I'd say, upgraded. You're going to be, Eddies and stuff like that, more name brand components into an 80. I'm going to give it a quick run, and then we're going to do a nose to nose, so you can see the height, the digging height, the radius, and some of the other things on the 70 versus an 80, so that you can kind of make that decision if you got to go to an 80 or if you can get away with that 70. So we'll give it a quick run here, and then we'll do a quick walk around. I said, I wanted to show you how high that sucker gets up there. It's, like I said, it's 23 feet if I remember right. So if you're looking for a unit to have in a shale pit or something where you have them big vertical digs, this one would definitely be one that's going to get you as high as you can, and then also way over your triaxial sides. I mean, your triaxial sides are, 10.6 typically, where this guy is up there almost double that. So you can dig out, you can park your truck under, and way have enough clearance that you shouldn't have to worry about hitting sides or kind of finessing your way in there. I'm going to do the 70 versus the 80 here, and then you guys can kind of decide which one works for you. But just giving you a quick rundown on that ZH80, really nice unit. I mean, this is where I don't think that even if you do spend that 135,000 on a cat or whatever those cost in this price range or this size, I don't think you're getting a ton more. Obviously, we all know having that dealer network is where it's key, but we try to use a lot of the same components, a lot of the same stuff that you should be able, if you have a machine that you're familiar with wrenching a little bit, you should be able to cross-reference aftermarket about anything. We're happy to get you the parts as well, but we try to make it that if you decide that you're going to go this route, you don't need us. I mean, again, we're happy to get the stuff. If we don't have it, we'll get it for you. But, in the other side of things, that's why we're using Yanmars and Eddies and so forth. Even the sensors, the sensors are expensive. Now, this is a machine that definitely has more sensors. Like any machine that has the computers, the ECMs, the codes and so forth, the code list is 5, 6, 8 pages of whatever, 12 font. So that is something to consider. It's a more complicated unit. It's a more complex unit. It's a very nice unit. But if you don't want to mess with a lot of the electronics on it, then I would say go to a 70 or go to that cat, which still has the electronics, but they have the guy with that computer that tells them, hey, dummy, this is what it is. So, that's just something to consider, where we have the codes. We can get you the printout and show you, okay, F10763 is DPF sensor. But like any codes, you can have one sensor be bad, which then registers as 3 other things down the line. So, if you're not good at troubleshooting that kind of stuff, don't have the ability to haul the units to a dealer, I get it. I don't begrudge anybody for being comfortable and spending the extra money to have that support. There's a whole bunch of hate out there for these Chinese units. I tell you what, those guys that know how to turn a wrench a little bit, it's a great way to save money. They're nice machines if you know what you're looking at. If you really know what you're looking at, you realize that there's not much difference in the builds compared to your Bobcats and your Cats. I would put anybody to bring their machine here and put it beside it. I'd be happy to do the test. I mean, if you want to bring a KX over and put it beside that unit, I'd be happy to. The cylinders, the internals, how they're designed. We just rebuilt a 600-hour Bobcat E10. We had a 2,000-hour Bobcat that we rebuilt. We had a 1,000-hour Cat that was shot in every direction that we had to redo. So, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's how you take care of the equipment, and every brand has a machine that they're not real proud of. I mean, those of you that have a Kubota B3350, you call your dealer on that regen issue, and they pretty much tell you, we don't know how to fix it. We throw parts at it, still doesn't fix it. So, there's plenty of models out there. So as far as, I would never buy a Chinese machine. Why? Look at where everything's made. It's Japan, South Korea, assembled here in the United States, but almost everything's coming out of China. I get it. I get the network. I get the build. That's what we try to do as well. Pick better builds, pick better equipment. That's why we're trying to be transparent with you. If we see stuff we don't like, that way you can make an informed decision. But when you're talking, saving $60,000, $70,000 for a very nice machine, still, I just think it's worth it. In my own opinion, that's for me. Again, we're good at turning wrenches here. We know how to do stuff. Once we're through the headache stuff, usually it's pretty easy. I mean, we don't hit a ton of issues in the big equipment. So we'll see how that pans out in 10 years, sure. But we'll see, for the immediate future, it's been pretty problem-free for the most part. And what it is normally is a sensor. If we have something coming up, it's not the engine, it's not the drives, it's not the hydraulic pumps. Maybe a leak. Most times it's loose fitting. And the person that has the machine is just, their give a damn's busted, and they won't pop the hood to look at it. That's as simple as it is. But people that are familiar with looking at stuff, and they'll tighten that line up, but it's very minor stuff. So again, ZH80D, Good success with it. Powered by Yanmar. Nice looking unit. Nice running unit. Nice laid out unit. We'll do the 70 beside this unit. And then, again, you guys make the decision if it works for you, if it don't. We appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are interested, give us a call, 570-837-1003, 570-837-1016. Those are the two landlines. We'll catch you guys later. Appreciate you watching.